NPDL News. I'm Olivia, and once again, you're only watching because you clearly have nothing better to do with your time. So, let's get back into the latest nonsense from around your city, where people can't help but to share their very important views on the internet. Alright, hi everyone. I'm so sorry I got super busy, so now we have to catch up with December, January, and February. Okay, so we're gonna start off December with a TikTok video that went viral of a woman who thought she was at her friend's house. She wasn't. So she went viral on TikTok basically because in Northport Friendly Neighbors, somebody posted her saying to look out for her, and the whole neighborhood went on watch because she accidentally knocked on the wrong door. Kind of embarrassing for her, but turned into something hilarious. Next up, we have the Costco cheating car. This car went viral on just about every Facebook page. Now, was it an overreaction? Maybe. But did it make for the most exciting Costco run? Absolutely. If you were at Costco and you saw this car, congratulations. You got free entertainment with your bulk toilet paper. Okay, so between December and February, there was so many car crashes, and they're still happening. Car crashes, there have been multiple shootings involving police. There's been so many highway fires. I don't know what is going on. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's been happening, I swear, almost every day. So, on a more serious note, something actually tragic happened in our city. Someone decided to take their own life at a Wendy's. So as much as we like to joke about the ridiculous stuff that happens in this city, this one's just sad. Mental health is a real thing, and I want you guys to know that you're not alone, and there's a lot of resources out there and people that are willing to talk to you. Even if it feels like nobody cares, I promise you there's somebody out there that cares.
Sergeant Elio Diaz was shot and killed during a traffic stop in Port Charlotte on Tamiami Trail 3 p.m. December 15th. The driver pulled out a rifle, fired at Sergeant Diaz, and drove off. He was found a few miles away and went to reach for his weapon but was shot and killed by deputies. Sergeant Diaz served with the Charlotte County Police Department for over 11 years. He has a wife and 4 kids. I'll link it below. Bleeding Blue is doing a fundraiser for the family to show support. Around 8 p.m. on a Thursday night on North Chamberlain Boulevard, a 10-year-old boy, Tucker James, was hit by a car near his driveway. His legacy continues through organ donations, and there's a GoFundMe I'll link below to support his family.
On another note, there was a whole shop with a cop thing that happened at Walmart, and an older woman decided it would be a perfect time to try and steal with a bunch of cops around. She obviously got caught and got walked out in handcuffs. Don't know what she was thinking. I think I'm going to start off January with this segment of Northport Needs a Therapist. Basically, a man came to my Facebook page and decided to talk the maddest shit about his wife. And there was a lot to it, so I'm going to read it word for word with you guys.
Okay, so I'm going to read the post with you. If the admins don't approve this post, I completely understand. If you do approve this post, I would kindly request that you turn off the comments for this post. My wife and I met in AOL chat room in 1998 after our first marriages were over. We chatted online and over the phone for months before meeting in person. When I saw her for the first time in real life, my breath caught in my chest. My heart skipped a beat and I knew I was done. We were inseparable and our friends were jealous of our relationship. They told us all the time that we were perfect for each other and were clearly meant to be. In 2012, her name was diagnosed with several spinal and neck issues and sent to a pain management clinic where she became a victim of the opioid epidemic. Within months, she started pulling away from me. She had no interest in going out with me or seeing any of our friends. She wanted her own friends and wanted to hang out at her bar. She wanted absolutely nothing to do with me or us and treated me like I was her mortal enemy. After a few years of this, she was discharged from her pain management clinic for failing 3 drug tests in a row for pot. I believe she realized what all the drugs were doing to her and wanted a way out. That spring, she wanted to spend the summer back in New Hampshire with our friends. I thought it would be a great help in her recovery. I've heard for years that people in recovery need a change in their people, places, and things. Spending the summer with our friends would remind her of us and all of the good times we shared, and she would want to come home to me. What I didn't know is that she was already involved in an online love affair with her cousin. Not by blood, by marriage. But he was adopted young, and they grew up together. She wasn't staying with our friends. She spent an entire summer living with him and playing house. A while after she came home, she asked to go to San Diego for a family get together. Her entire family is from New Hampshire. I'm not stupid. By this time, I was happy for the 17-day reprieve from her and her hurtful ways. A year or so later, she wanted to go back to New Hampshire for a family funeral. I agreed, but I also let her family members know about what was going on in the past 3 or 4 years. They confronted him, and he confessed to the affair. When she got off the plane, he was not there to pick her up as planned. They weren't allowed to see each other, and they put her up in a cheap motel for the week. Oh, this is getting messy. When she got home, that's when she started her smear campaign against me. She was completely in love with this man and was willing to do anything to destroy me. First, she isolated me from all her friends and people who knew us. Once she was sure I had no contact with these people, she started telling them horrible, untrue things about me, making me out to be a monster while playing the victim. Character assassination in its highest form, telling anyone who would listen that I was controlling, abusive, narcissistic SOB. I'm tired of people that I've never met and know nothing about the truth coming at me because they think I'm a horrible bastard. She would wake up with bruises from falling down drunk, take pictures of her injuries, then send those pictures out to her friends claiming that I was responsible for her injuries. Yet she never called 911 to report me for domestic violence. Emoji. At this time, she was heavy into Jack. On a good night, she would just pass out. On a bad night, she would start a fight. Several times she got so bad I was forced to call 911 for help and would have to spend the night at my parents' place. I'm 6'2" in my legs. When I'm home, I take my legs off and walk around on my knees. I was an easy target, and I would never strike a woman. I was raised by a gentleman to be a gentleman. 16 days after turning 25 in the hospital, I had both my legs and 7 fingers amputated. I matured real quick after that. My first night in the ICU, my family was told I would have a 10% chance of surviving the night. That teaches you a lot about life and the sheer fragility of all of this. For the last several years, I hounded her to see a proper professional about her mental health. I was absolutely convinced that if she just got the right medication, she would somehow, someway love me again. I have spent the last decade of my life being ignored, unloved, and I couldn't understand why. I stood beside her and loved her and protected her for the last 26 plus years. Why won't she love me? 30 days after our 20th anniversary, I found my answer. Speaking of that, early last year, I reminded her of our upcoming 20th anniversary and asked where she might want to celebrate. She never mentioned it again. 10 minutes into our 20th anniversary, she started yelling at me over some stupid Facebook BS. Earlier that day, I mistakenly accepted a friend request from a phishing Facebook page and she lost it on me. She didn't speak to me for the rest of our anniversary. Now I understand everything. She can't love me because she's still in love with him. And she's been carrying on her affair with him for the last decade. Most nights she passes out while watching TV with me after drinking about a fifth of vodka. I would shut off the TV, wake her up, and tell her it was time for bed. She would tell me she wasn't sleeping, wasn't tired, and wanted to watch her shows on DVR. She's on medication that knocks her out cold in about 15 minutes. Why not just take her pills and come to bed? Now I know why. Once I went to bed, it was private time for her and him. They would chat, talk on the phone, and even video chat. They haven't seen each other in person in years, but you don't continue a decade-long love affair without some form of intimacy. I'll leave that up to your imagination, but I'm sure you get the idea. I begged her for years to please leave our relationship off social media. First of all, it's nobody's business. Secondly, I knew she wasn't being truthful to these people. I spent the last few years thinking we would live happily ever after. I'm not a fan of doing this, but she has spent the last 10 years on the internet destroying my character. Sometimes it becomes necessary to fight fire with fire. I have my pride, and I definitely have the right to defend myself against all of these lies. Now she's attempting to lie her way out of this situation as usual. She showed me some random pic she got off the internet and told me that this isn't that guy. He's a different David. So you were sleeping with two different Davids while you were in New Hampshire? And you're continuing that affair online with both of them? One of them? What? Give me a break. I'm not divorcing her. Neither of us can financially survive apart, especially with our disabilities and doctors and medications and copays. We struggle to pay our bills every month and have thousands of dollars in credit card debt just like everyone else. I especially don't want anyone going after her name about this. She's fragile and doesn't need anyone piling on her. She will have to deal with the consequences of her actions for years to come. I do not want someone bullying her into doing something tragic. Please leave her alone for me, please. I also don't need your sympathy. I'm not trying to sound mean. I simply have no use for it. I grew a pair and put on my big boy pants years ago. Life sucks. Get a helmet. I'm tired and sick of being portrayed as the monster while her name gets to play the poor me victim. I'm speaking truth to power, and I'm taking my power and speaking my truth. For the past 26 years, I have walked in front of her and protected her. I have stood beside her to support her and stood behind her to catch her while she fell. And for the last 12 years, she has walked all over me and played me for a fool. All that is over with. Now that my eyes are fully opened and I can see the forest through the trees, it's time for a new me. It's about time I start living my life and stop living it for someone who doesn't give two shits about me. Welcome to the first day of your new life. His name. Okay, so with that, obviously putting that on a City T page, meant for drama and stuff. It didn't, I don't know what. I'm kind of speechless on it because why would you put it publicly and then say nobody bother her? This is a new me. I feel like he was wanting something to happen out of it. Like, that's just the vibe that I get. Like, oh, don't hurt her, but F her. I'm gonna attack her. I'm very confused by the intention because it very much so seems like an attack on her.
So the wife decided to leave the Facebook page, and the husband is still there, and I don't know what's going on at home. I don't want to know. But next time, I hope that they keep their drama between them, especially if they don't want other people to get involved in the attacking. Anyways, moving on. Jonathan Houston is back into the city, and he is eating his roadkill per usual. So, if you see any fresh roadkill, let him know. Breaking news, Tanya finally had her debut. She went live for the first time. Congratulations, Tanya. You were a big hit.
Who's here? I'm going live. With my shit brown house and my 3,000. What's up?
Okay, so somewhere in the month of, I want to say January, it was, Tanya and Jasmine began a feud. And this is the feud that will last so far about a month. I'm still hearing about it to this day, and we're deep in the middle of February about now. But it created a dirty laundry fight club in the Waffle House parking lot, and a lot of fan fiction. So I'll put the fan fiction. You guys can look it over, review it, rate it 1 out of 10. January 24th, we had Tiffany do one of the biggest recaps ever. I'll put that recap over here, and we'll just do a quick review of it. Also in January, we had a dog poop family reunion happen. It caused some drama and feedback. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it was around January 24th, so you could search that up and do your thing. The city of Punta Gorda got in on the husband and wife drama. Also, mid-January, we had an incident happen at our local Target. Well, not local, it's in Port Charlotte. A grown man dressed up as Spider-Man took a box of cereal and a gallon of milk and just threw it all over himself. And I'm gonna put the video here so you can see it for yourself and not have to go search it up and give him another view.
Never stop believing. Never give up. You're never supposed to stop. I already told you.
I was told that he didn't pay for any of it and that he didn't even offer to clean it up. That's what I was told. I can't say for sure, for certain. Someone confirm it if you work at Target. Thank you. Honestly, there was just so much that happened in those 3 months. I really tried to fit it all into this video. But thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning into NPDL News.